Hey guys, it's Maxie here and welcome to another TEW2020 video. You join us today for AEW Bank On It, the first edition of it. We'll see if there is more down the line. Of course, that takes the position of AEW out of control. Maybe I should have made it a separate pay-per-view so then it doesn't carry on the heritage of it, but too late now. But last year, our pay-per-view was a 79. We pretty much were level on what we're going to get in the terms of attendance. And we had the main event of Jon Moxley defending the AEW World title against Pac, which is quite ironic because Pac's in the main event defending against Sir Brodie Lee. We've made the change to the announced team. We've got it just as Tony Schiavone and Mauro Ranallo, I think. Or did I take Renee out? I think I took Renee out, yep. And just in case the colour commentary curse hits us again, we've added a major band, a B-list celebrity, and a special set. Maybe a couple of ladders and small fake steel cells so it doesn't look too much like Money in the Bank. So we can take a look into the event, we'll see how it goes. I think we've covered 290 of the 225 minutes of the broadcast, and we also have just the one pre-show match. So without further ado, cheers as always for tuning in. Let's see how the AEW Bank On It pay-per-view goes down. So a quick look there, and it is 3 pre-show matches that are going to be held, and we've sold out 40,000 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in the Mid-South region. We have an abysmal pre-show match that sees Ricky Starks pick up the victory over Chuck Taylor in 9:05 with the Buster Keaton. Chucky T was off his game, but the Trios champion falls victim to Ricky Starks, and it's a 49 rated matchup there. In the second matchup, we had an abysmal pre-show match that saw the team of Eddie Kingston and Luster defeat the team of Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela in 9:34, when Eddie Kingston pinned Sonny Kiss with the sliding D at 51. Janela was head and shoulders above the rest, and Sonny Kiss was the weak link. Their time will come, Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, but I just have that many heel tag teams that they're always the lowest over, so kind of like the first on the rung of when someone's getting a push. Luster had good performance there, the 49, and Eddie Kingston off his game. We're going to build Eddie up though, because his overness is not great at the moment. And the final pre-show matchup was AJ Styles defeating Colt Cabana in 9:41 with a calf crusher. 62, 46 plays a 67. Colt Cabana off his game, but both guys with great chemistry, and that showed with their performances. So we crack on to the event itself, and we have the usual hype package featuring many of the men that will be featuring in the Bank On It match. Of course, that's Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, MJF, Brian Cage, Ace Austin, Orange Cassidy. They just say a few words of how they're going to win the match and become the #1 contender. And of course, that big matchup for the World Championship as Pac defends against Sir Brodie Lee. Chris Jericho is the reason that we make this unscripted. So it is a bit annoying that Chris Jericho is the man who was underwhelming and didn't do it well without a script to follow. Orange Cassidy was poor, as was Ace Austin. Pac came out looking excellent, and good performances from Sammy Guevara, MJF, and of course Sir Brodie Lee. So an 89 puts a wee bit less pressure on the main event to deliver. The opening contest of the night was for the AEW Tag Team Championships, and it was a decent matchup that saw Proud and Powerful Santana and Ortiz defeat the Jurassic Express in 11:43 when Santana pinned the Luchasaurus. This gave Proud and Powerful the second defence of the World Championship. Still a bit too soon to take the belts off them, but a 71's a fairly respectable opener. Good performances, especially from Santana and Ortiz, and made this our Steal the Show victory as per the Wrestling Nirvana product. Backstage, we have Sammy Guevara, Santana and Ortiz and Jake Hager. So just basically Sammy saying, great work guys, still champions in the inner circle. It's time for me to get that medal and become a champion as well. So an 85, as my phone goes off, fantastic. 85 rating there. Sammy's performance was good. The colour commentary curse strikes again. So maybe Tony's the problem, maybe it's not Renee. So maybe going forward will be Mauro Ranallo and Renee Paquette. So we'll see what happens. There's always going to be a trial and error show with that, and hopefully it doesn't hurt us in the main event. Moving along, we had some 10-person action, just to really, one, give the Dark Order an opportunity, but two, the likes of Anna Jay, Abaddon, Priscilla Kelly, give them the exposure that you get on a pay-per-view. So the abysmal matchup saw the Dark Order, Abaddon, Priscilla Kelly, Eva Leno, Stu Grayson and John Silver defeat the team of Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Mark Quinn, Heidi Lovelace and Anna Jay in 11:27, when it was Priscilla Kelly pinning Anna Jay. 51 overall. You can see the performances are actually quite close. It's probably just the likes of Anna Jay, John Silver. Now, they didn't have the best, but we'll work with them. And yeah, good exposure on Bank on It. We then have Tony Schiavone confirmed that it was announced on social network platforms that Darby Allin will defend the TNT Championship against Miro, which was a 66. I did say we were going to somehow add matches that had no build. There's one. And that matchup straight away did very well, actually, far better than I expected, and a victim of the colour commentary curse and probably the limitations of time, but a good matchup. Darby Allin defeats Miro in 15:05 with the coffin drop. His second defence of the TNT Championship, still too soon to take it off him. 80 performance is really good, but being honest, Darby's not too far off the main event scene with those performances, but good for Miro as well. We then had an abysmal match. We had Dr. Britt Baker DMD defeat Tenille Dashwood in 8-12 by pinfall. Both have great chemistry that boost their performances, but because they aren't over with the crowd, that's obviously going to hamper it, and it is only 31. The change is actually for the gimmick of Britt Baker. Who knew she's going to go from an egomaniac to a dentist? Did you know she's a dentist? And the initial rating is great. This rating is likely to rise over time. Perfect, that's the plan. So Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, is a dentist gimmick. I'm hoping in this kind of situation, while the crowd are unhappy, it's pre-show workers, the exposure of a pay-per-view hopefully helps. And after the match-up, promo from Britt, 45, and it's a case of her saying, you know, she's going to rip out the mouths of her opponents, she's going to rip the teeth out of the mouths of her opponents, and the focus should all be on her, never mind this superstar that's debuting later on. She'll introduce herself to her at one point down the line. So that was a 45. The actual plan was for her to confront the debuting superstar, but I don't really want our debuting superstar to be a babyface, so they will stay away. So there's one clue, it's going to be a heel. We then had a decent matchup that saw Kairi Hojo defeat Shayna Baszler in 1927 with the spear. A 69, that might be our best fit women's match so far. A 66 from Kairi and a 71 from Shayna. Obviously this was built up for months before Kairi's injury, and she gets some retribution over Shayna Baszler. This then leads to a celebration of Kairi and Saraya celebrating in the ring, or Saraya, I'll keep pronouncing her name wrong. But 56, as they have a feel-good moment before they are interrupted by the debuting superstar, who says basically, enjoy the celebrations because you are just going to be a footnote in my journey. Welcome to AEW. Mercedes Varnado, the former Sasha Banks, and she has debuted her Delusional Maniac gimmick, which got an initial rating of great. So a 61. As soon as Sasha, or just call her Mercedes, as soon as Mercedes is available, absolute no-brainer that she would fit the mould of AEW, and I think it's just a really, really fantastic female performer. I did want to debut her as a babyface, but we are so stacked on that side that I feel like the likes of, you know, her working with the likes of Chris Statlander and the few others, there's still many females to debut that can hopefully as well raise the game of your Rihos, your Mayu Ibatanis, your Hikaru Shidas. So we have a stacked division, especially when we go to two brands as well. But Mercedes just basically says it's great that she's here in AEW, but let's be honest, this women's division needed someone in my talent, and it was going to take a big price, and they're paying me well to be here. Hell, they even named the pay-per-view after me, or a former alias that I've had. So there you go. As soon as I knew she was signing, that's why we went to bank on it. That was the little hint that was put in there. But yeah, she's going to be basically portraying a I'm better than you, so know your role basically. But absolutely stacked to have Mercedes in there. And obviously there's a little shock on the faces of Kairi Hojo and Saraya. Moving along, little backstage promo from Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. You're going to see a lot of this in the upcoming Impacts, a lot of upcoming Dynamites as well. I just want to give them as much screen time as possible. Just cutting promos, Max Caster cutting some raps, Bowens doing his little "the Acclaim have arrived," just giving them exposure, getting their overness up. Not quite over enough to be taking victories. So they'll be on, wrestling wise, they'll be on dark for a bit on the pre-shows, and then we'll eventually, once they're over, start giving them some wins, because I'm recording this a bit earlier than it'll go live, but I am firmly jumping on the Acclaim bandwagon for sure. Mick Foley then announces the surprise entrant in the Bank On It match, the 10-man TLC/Steel Cell hybrid match. It's Kayla O'Reilly. Now, you know he had signed. He is one of the wrestlers I feel like would thrive in an AEW environment. I think we're still looking at 2 more to debut down the line. We obviously saw in the last episode who one of them was, but there's still a few that will fit into what we're looking to build here in AEW. And let's see how this match does. It could be iffy, it could have injuries. I really don't know what to expect because it's a lengthy match as well. 78. I'm quite happy with that, considering. So, a good matchup. MJF defeats Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Brian Cage, Bandido, Orange Cassidy, Matt Riddle, Claudio Castagnoli, Ace Austin and Kyle O'Reilly in a 10-man Bank On It ladder match in 37:59 when MJF retrieved the item after Chris Jericho was distracted by Ricky Starks. MJF wins the AEW Championship medal, so he is going to be facing either Sir Brodie Lee or Pac at Full Gear. A 78, Kyle O'Reilly with 66, Claudio 64. Some really good performances in there. There was a stage I wanted it to go to Sammy, and I had a plan in my head when I was away at walk, but kind of forgot that and didn't write it down. So it was at one point going to be Sammy competing in the main event at Full Gear, but we've opted to go with MJF. So looking forward to that one. Sammy with 92 off his game as well, can we add? No injuries, which is good. And this match is probably limited by the colour commentary as well, so maybe could have been 83s, 84s, but that's encouraging. At least the matchup we created wasn't too bad. But prestige is average, match risk was low, but as I say, with like Steel Cell and ladders on there. Surprised Jericho not going for stamina, but him and Castagnoli get done for physical decline. Fair enough. And then MJF celebrates, obviously with Ricky Starks and MJF, Wardlow alongside him. So yeah, get rid of Cody, becomes #1 contender. Not a bad couple of weeks for Maxwell Jacob Friedman in the 78 promo. We move on to the match for the Mixed Tag Team Championships. It was a poor matchup, but the team of Kenny Omega and Hikaru Shida defeat Cassie and Shawn Spears in 14:49 when Kenny Omega pinned Shawn Spears with a one-winged angel, meaning your first ever Mixed Tag Team Champions are Kenny Omega and Hikaru Shida. Kenny carries the match, but I'm hoping having him in these matches can really get Shida over, but can really help elevate the women that will be participating in these matches. So if we get their overness over, then we can, as I say, a thriving women's division is one thing I've always wanted in TW saves. We had it before with the likes of Dana Brooke, we've had it before with Rhea Ripley, but maybe not a full division, and that's what I'm hoping to do here. So 67, and yeah, a few negatives there. Now for the pressure on the main event, after the celebration of Shida and Omega, so again these kind of segments to try and get that exposure to Shida, 66. Brodie Lee gets the elaborate entrance, because obviously he's a Sir now, so there's like a crown and a bit of royalty, as he's looking to become AEW World Champion. That was in 84, came out of this looking excellent. I don't know if him and Pac will click. It's a massive risk, and they deliver an 82. Now I'll be honest, if we look at the things here, the lack of psychology and the colour commentary and the performances of Brodie Lee and Pac, I think this hits a 90. I genuinely do. If there's a bit more psychology on it, which I'm let's be honest, sometimes that can lack in AEW matches, let's not kid ourselves. And the colour commentary, so I think that could have been a 90. So we may touch on this matchup again down the line, but an exceptional matchup. Pac defeats Sir Brodie Lee with a shooting star leg drop for the third defence of the world title. He's got a gimmick that's getting stale, but yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with both guys. The exceptional matchup is fantastic. Just two penalties that take a lot out of it. And we finish the show a wee beatdown, and that is of course MJF, Ricky Starks and Wardlow beating down Pac, because MJF has got his muscle, he's got his other lackey, and he is ready to become potentially AEW World Champion. So Pac versus MJF, full gear already. Mark that in your calendars. It is signed, sealed, delivered. Overall, 87. That show increased their popularity in 56 regions, of course the US and Canada included. Big thanks to the boosts on that, so we might take a financial hit, because obviously with the decline in the economy and the wrestling industry's popularity, we are not getting the attendances that we probably would have had. But I'm delighted with that. As I say, you could have been looking at the 90s. Not a great opening segment. I usually pride that in being a 100 to give us less pressure, so if that was a bit higher, and as I say, that could have easily, that 82 been in the 90s, so we could have probably looked at maybe a 93, 94. But we're on the right path. Let's try to get this 100 match, just purely to get that achievement. So I've had the 100 show, but I've not quite had the 100 match. So decent show. We'll jump into the main screen. We'll see what kind of news items is coming up. We'll see how we've done financially, and yeah, where we go from here. So thankfully it's quite a quick turnaround because it is a light mod. I'll say this and it'll take forever. There we go, Max Caster right there in front of you. Alright, so what have we got? So the feedback was awesome, fantastic reviews. Brock Lesnar goes to NXT and loan, like that would never happen. Norman Smiley stays with WWE. NXT UK had Rock You Tonight, and Beth Phoenix has signed a new contract with the WWE. So, your contract negotiations with Laredo Kid, so I'll need to give him a different contract, I believe. That's fine. Just these contracts run out, so it's just to extend his deal. Ortiz says that Bandido is turning into a good worker. Just the 700,000, nearly 800,000 viewers, and a 0.55, just 279,000 pay-per-view buys. Once I don't want to break any contracts, but I think we will look at adjusting our pay-per-view situation, because we are not getting the viewers. The good thing is 7 months, 6 months, 6 months, every TV deal and pay-per-view deal is up at the one time, so I think we'll full on just negotiate everything. It's basically holding everything off till about April 2022 before we can navigate some other things, but we'll see. Financially, we have gained. Well, probably could still lose money. Actually, I'm forgetting my pay-per-views being on a Saturday. We don't get the full overview of it. Ticket sales were up, admittedly, with 2 events. Pay-per-view revenue was up. Broadcast revenue was up. Sorry, sponsorship might drop again, and merch. But I think we'll probably lose a bit to tax, so we might be a small loss. But most importantly, at these times, that's all new, so it's a wee bit further secure. Because if we drop under big to medium, we don't know what implications that could have, but as I say, there's still plenty of places where we're nowhere near. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm now on the road to full gear, and I'm ready to get some booking plans together. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.